Good morning, beloveds. So the park was people quiet and bird loud. What do I mean by that? There were no soccer anything. So there were people in the park, but the people in the park were just us, you know. There were a couple of people riding bikes, but mostly walkers and runners. And the squirrels were, you know, a little hesitant. I think we have a new generation of squirrels that are like, oh, we don't know the peanut people. But bird loud. The mockingbirds were arguing with each other. The blue jays were arguing with each other. And then at one point there was, I know it was a cardinal because I know that song, but we couldn't find him. So he was just up there singing away. It was beautiful. So, yeah, it was interesting. At one point there were 4 blue jays and Tom tossed a few peanuts and they were more interested in arguing with each other than the peanuts. So we were just like, all right, whatever. You know, I mean, we did have some blue jays take some peanuts. It was just a weird day in the park. So, all right, we are finally going to finish chapter 14 because, you know, it's been a haul, and we're already a third of the way through the book, which I find really interesting. It's like, I'm gonna have to find something else to do then, which is okay. I was thinking about doing the Living the Science of Mind next because that's just short. Those are just 2 pages each, mostly. Some of them are a little bit longer. All right. So we are starting on, remember, we are in chapter 14 which is physical perfection. And we are going to start with the section on 210, treating children. In the case of an infant who is subjective to the conscious thought of the people around it, it may be necessary to teach the parents how to think about the child. Else one might heal the infant and have the parents' thought make it sick again. Explain to them the result of entertaining fears for the health of their children. Remember that the thought of the parents influence the child. I don't know why I can't get through that sentence. We will suppose that the mother is constantly saying the poor thing, the poor little sick thing. From the human standpoint, this is natural, but it does not help the child, no matter how loving the thought may be. This is called unconscious or innocent malpractice. It is malpractice because it is the wrong use of thought, innocent because it is not intended to harm, unconscious because the mother does not know the result of such mental action. In such a case, it is the business of the practitioner to realize that there is no mental influence operating through the child except a belief in perfection. At first, the children are happy, free. At first, children are happy, free, spontaneous. That is why we like them. They live instinctively. As they grow older and their emotions become more complex, and they hear people talk about death, trouble, divorce, love, and marriage, and everything else, good, bad, and indifferent, they begin to react to those emotions subjectively. Everything that opposes harmony and spontaneous unity will prove disastrous to the child's health sooner or later. After a certain age, children have to be re-educated just as do adults, that their subjective mind may not reproduce false impressions. Okay, treating children. And I think that's one of the reasons why baby laughter is one of the best sounds in the entire world, because babies can't fake it. It's a real laugh, and it's amazing, and that's why we love that sound. And why it is so important that parents are aware of their influence on their children. So, all right, we are moving on to the power of the word. Be specific in treating, be direct and definite in your mental work. You are dealing with intelligence, so deal with it intelligently. The treatment must realize the patient as perfect, must recognize the word as power, must know that it breaks down every person every human-made law and casts it out, that it is the law of harmony and the recognition of the presence of good that within itself is unbounded and equipped with the power to execute itself, and it must know that it does this. It must know that there is nothing that can change it, that there is no belief which can hinder it, that it cannot be reversed, misplaced, mislaid, neutralized, or destroyed by any opposite force, that it does the thing it is supposed to do, and it must know that it is continuous and unremitting, and will operate until it does all that it is supposed to do. Jesus said, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall never pass away." And Isaiah understood something of this when he said, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void." I always wondered because we use that phrase, it shall not return unto me void. And I always wondered where it came from. Well, it comes from Isaiah. And interestingly enough, Ernest isn't known for citing his sources, so that was pretty cool. All right. And I believe this is the last section. Yay! Chapter 14. And it is seeing perfection. When Jesus said to the person, "Stretch forth thy hand," he undoubtedly saw a perfect hand. If everything is mental, and if Jesus saw an imperfect hand instead of a perfect one, no good would have resulted, according to the law of cause and effect. A practitioner does not treat a sick person. The practitioner deals only with the idea, a spiritual person. Otherwise, they would enter into the vibration of suffering and might themselves experience the result of such vibration. From what we know, Jesus must have seen only the perfect hand, even though he might have recognized the false condition as far as his notion of perfection, else it would not have been healed. You'd think I was still asleep the way I'm reading this. All right. Okay. Back to the reading. Healing is not creating a perfect idea or a perfect body. It is revealing an idea which is already perfect. Healing is not a process. It is a revelation. Through the thought of the practitioner to the thought of the patient. There may be a process in healing, but not a process of healing. That bears repeating, because Jesse said that the other day. There may be a process in healing, but there is not a process of healing. It may take time, but, okay? All right, back to the reading. Which it would help if I hadn't just lost my place. Hang on. Seriously. Okay, there we are. The process in healing is the mental work and the time it takes the practitioner to convince themselves of the perfection of their patient and the length of time it takes the patient to realize this perfectness. All right? So, the time it takes the practitioner to convince themselves of the perfectness of their patient and the length of time it takes the patient to realize his perfectness. There's responsibility on both parts, okay? And it's very important to remember that. It's like as practitioners, we can treat all we want and know absolutely the perfect truth, but until the person that we are treating for is ready to accept it, it goes back to that, not my will, but thine be done. So that's one of the reasons why practitioners cannot take personal responsibility in the healing. Our job is to see the the person as perfect. And spirit will do that when the person is ready for it. Okay? All right, let's finish this. Let's finish this. I didn't stop in the middle of the chapter this time. Back of what we call the human body, there must be a divine body. It is not necessary to visualize this spiritual body, but we should sense somebody as a spiritual idea, that the flow and circulation of life through it is complete. It is not inhabited. It is not inhibited, not congested. I was like, that didn't make sense. I like that he calls it the divine body, and Dr. Goswami calls it the bliss body, the spiritual body. It is necessary that the practitioner believe in a perfect body. They cannot realize this unless they has already become convinced that the perfect body is there. If they have come to this conclusion, they must not deny it. There is a perfect heart and a perfect idea of a heart, a perfect head and a perfect idea of a head, perfect lungs and a perfect idea of lungs. The practitioner must realize that back of the appearance is the reality, and it is the practitioner's business to uncover this reality. They do this through a process of obliterating false thought. They must deny false conclusions, bring out the evidence of perfection, and produce the healing. Disease is a fact, but not a truth. It is an experience, but not a spiritual reality. That bears repeating again, because that's in italics, so emphasis earnest, right? Disease is a fact, but not a truth. It is an experience, but not a spiritual reality. At no time do we ever deny that people have illnesses, that they are having the experience of an illness. We never deny that. That would be, well, one, rude, and two, counterproductive. It's like, yes, you are having this experience, but it is not the truth of you. It is not who you are. That's why it's super important to be aware of the words you put behind I am. Okay? All right, back to the reading. We must transcend the appearance, even though we admit it as a fact. We are not so cold-blooded as to say to a person with pain that there is no such thing as pain. That is not our idea or purpose. We admit the fact. It is quite a different thing to admit its necessity. That's all in caps, okay? I like that he says we're not so cold-blooded, right? We admit the fact. It is quite a different thing to admit its necessity. Pain is a fact. It is not a necessity. Outside of, sometimes it is to tell us to stop doing something, okay? So once we get the message, we don't need the pain anymore, right? It is not a necessity. We admit that there is unhappiness, but it would be unthinkable to admit that one has to be unhappy. Could it be true that there could be a universal necessity for happiness? It cannot. It cannot. All caps. And the time will come when no one will be unhappy. I do not know when it will come. I am not going to wait for it to come. But it is certain that such a time will arrive, and it will come to you and to me now in such a degree as we let it come. We shall be able to let it come in such a degree as we are able to convince our consciousness that it is there. And when it finally does come, we shall find that it was always there. Disease, according to a fact, is not, but let me try that again. Sorry. Disease, accordingly, is a fact, but not a truth. It is not an eternal verity. It is a fact in human experience for ages that people did not broadcast over radio, but it was not a truth that they could not. It was not a divine reality. Because had they known how to manufacture a radio and talk over it, they could have broadcast in any age. So we must try and see and sense that always back of the appearance, perfection is. Alrighty then. That is chapter 14. And the interesting thing is chapter 15 is perfection concluded. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this is a really long chapter too. So we're going to be in chapter 15 for a little while. All right. So that is physical perfection. There's a whole lot in there, which is why it took me a while to get through it. And I like that he started out talking about, you know what, if you need a pill, take a pill. Everything under the sun is. And then reminding us that we can influence others and that it's important that when we think about other people, we do not think about them in their uneased condition. We want to always, when somebody comes to your mind, think of them kindly, think of them gently, think of them whole, think of them happy, think of them perfect, Don't think of the problems that they have. You don't have to be a practitioner to do this kind of work. If every time somebody comes to your mind, you think of them happy and whole and perfect, then you're influencing their healing. It's not something just a practitioner can do. That's what that whole section on treating the children reminded us, When you think of your friends, don't think of their maladies, think of their wholeness. Think of their perfection. All right, so I'm going to wrap that up. So here's the basic housekeeping, and then I'm going to go eat breakfast because, I went spark and now I'm hungry. Just a reminder that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on, and I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. And one of the ways that you can support is go like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, engage with our social media. That will help bump us in the algorithms because we think we have important things to share. All right. I don't know what I was about to say. Yes, I was. If you would like any information about the center, you've got two options. One, creativelife.org is our website. If the information looks a little old, don't worry, we're working on it. And the other is the constant, apparently I need some oxygen. The constant contact email, which is info@creativelife.org. Have I not said that every day for like 4 years now? And you get one email a week, and it is, the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it. So that is how you can get in touch with us. All right. Now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a catter day, a rest day, the week is over day, a go to the park day, a get some sunshine day, a rest day, get some tasks done day, a whatever it is that you need kind of day, a silly day, a serious day, a call a friend day, a cuddle your fur baby day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Explore the truth of your being. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Oh, yeah, tomorrow is Sunday. If you're watching this on Facebook on June 8th. If you're not, if you're watching it somewhere else, well, then, feel free to go to the YouTube and look at it. We'll have a Sunday service for you at 11 on Facebook Live. All right. And if you're in the area, stop by. We'd love to see you in person and throw a hug on your neck. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time. I can't